Okay.
Thomas Kevin found the 210B for us, and so I posted it up.
Yeah, the clerk of the court is going to be the one. You could fill that out and have the clerk of the court then process it. Okay.
Right.
And you would submit that in with, like if you file a B-210 claim for something, and you pay the filing fee into the court, they're going to assign a court case to each B-210 or B-10 filing that you do. If you pay the fee, and basically that's what, that you don't pay the fee up front, you make the check, and then they have to cash the check to take out the payment.
Right.
And that's what that checkmate is when you submit that in with either a DD-214 or a certificate of live birth document.
Right.
But before you do the B-210s, you need to do something else first. And that means you have to go and change your name, just like in the Bible. You have to get a new name, and you have the right after you turn 21 to get a new name. And when you do change the name, you can check this out in the dictionary. Okay? Changing the identity. Okay? Change of name. Okay? Taking an adoption of a new name by a person or a business, which in either case is usually regulated rather closely by statute. A change of name of a corporation requires resort to formal proceedings. To change the name of the corporation, which is what we are, we're basically essentially a corporation right now, a copyrighted corporation. We're the author of that copyright name. It's our name, and we are putting our copies out into the system all the time. The state don't own our name. We do. We're the author. And that's under copyright if you want to check it out. We're the proprietor. Now, we have this copyrighted name corporation, the peon or pawns that we do, and we do a lot of creating pawns out here. And we're the pawnor, and they're the pawnees. Now, when you change the name of a corporation, that is also classified as a dissolution of corporation. The name of a corporation is fixed by its charter or statute by which the corporation was created, such as being the essential existence as a corporation or a part of a franchise to be a corporation. But when you change the name of a corporation, it goes into dissolution. That's what we were trying to do before. Okay? Several years back. So what we have to do is we've got a public corporation out here under our given name, and we have to terminate that name or change that name, take on a new name now that we want. Then we put that name into operation, as a private enterprise or a private estate. At that point in time, the state cannot touch that because it's private. It's not a trust. You stay the hell away from trust. You don't need a trustee over your estate. You don't need an executor over your estate. You're the owner of that estate. In the private. Act like the owner. And stop giving some of this stuff away. We should have seen this before, because how does a man inherit a wife's dowry when they get married? The wife has to change her name. So her corporation should have gone into dissolution upon the marriage, but nobody saw that. Then in a divorce, the dowry has to be given back to her. That's what a divorce was primarily set up for, was to give the wife her dowry back. Nothing else, because everything else belongs to the man's estate. I hate to tell you, women, but this is a man's world, not a woman's world. You can go in and check out the change of possession, change of title, change of voyage, corporation name, dissolution of corporation, termination of corporation, adopt, copyright, change of name. But that's what we need to do. We need to change our name into a private system, and it has to go through the court. Now, there are a couple items that are up on the, let me see if I can find them, that are in those 600 form document package up there. One's called a bulk transfer. There's no notaries on these. Release. Okay? A release from the public pawn corporation, your name, and the private estate. Agree. And then you sign it as the first party and as the one. You're the owner of the one. You're the grantor, and you're also going to be the grantee or the transferee in this process. And it releases the parties from all known and unknown obligations. Because most of those obligations were all false upon us. Most of the obligations are really upon the estate, or the state that's out here. That whore that you married in the damn process. Not the physical whore, but the corporate whore. The state of. I see, where in the hell is that other one? There's a couple other transfer. Corporation transfer of stock, I don't think that one will be applicable, but you will notify the treasurer of or secretary of the state in this process also. You'll place them on those. Release of interest, okay? You would sign that. Basically, your corporate pawnee person is releasing all interest in that account over to you. There was a couple others. Let me see if I can find them. Thought I saved. Oh, yeah. Transfer under the Iowa Uniform Gift to Minors Act. Okay? There's also a transfer, let me see. Family and children, okay. Child, okay. Child, legal issue and majority status. Pull that document up out of that 600-page document. That's where the parent was supposed to release the child at the age of 21. After the child reached the age of 21, he could do whatever the shit he wanted to do. He wants a new name, he can change his name. He doesn't have to ask permission any longer because he is no longer a peon to the parents. That's what we became, a peon, an indentured servant to our parents until we came of age. There's another one there in that same folder, and this is under in family and children folder in that 600 legal forms document, and it's a custodian release by minor. See, you can modify some of these forms. There's no notaries on these forms. Why? Because you're operating these forms in the private. The state don't have jurisdiction over these things in the private. They don't know who in the hell you are. They only know the corporation. Now, there's a good book that basically everybody ought to get out there and get a copy of. I had Tom post it up there. You got it up, didn't you, Tom?
Yes, I got it up there. I posted the whole thing in the current folder, the PDF.
Okay.
What's in your name?
And it's also in that other site that you have too, right?
It will be up there tonight.
Okay. So it's basically, if people have problems getting into the group site, they can go to this other one.
And I've already put it on the Skype group too. And this folder of 600 legal forms and guides is in our puts and calls directory.
Okay.
And on my side, it's on my concurrent is a folder number 28, but it's puts and calls.
Yeah. Now, I don't know whether there is a form with the courts out here, the state courts or the federal courts, that is a form already that all you have to do is fill it out for a name change. You people can check that out and feed the information back to the site if you find it.
Okay.
Women have gone out there in the past and done a name change. How did you do it? As far as I know, I talked to a couple people. They did not, and they did it a long time ago, so they don't remember, but they know that they didn't have to pay for it. This is a behind-the-door type court issue. In chambers type scenario. And I bet you that these judges and everything else will be damn glad when I change my name. Mm-hmm. Because they're probably getting sick and tired of hearing from Patrick Devine. Finally, we're getting rid of that little shithead. But this book that I had Tom post up there, it's called What's in Your Name? And it was written in 1916. And it's all about harmonics. And harmonics is very big in the process of life. Even the date that you were born has a certain harmonics. There's 9 categories that play out in this system. And basically, when you go through your numbers with your name, and it's very simple. You write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you start with 1, and you put A with that, and that will go up through I. Then you start again with 1, and J through R. And then S up to 8 with Z. There's no 10s in this. There's only 9 digits. So it's a very simple format that you can lay out. And then you start going through, and the first thing you'll do is add up all your constants, or your vowels. I think it was vowels first. You do your vowels, add those up, the numerical value for that. And like if you come up with 25 or something like that, you add the 2 and the 5 together, and you end up with 7. You keep adding them up until you get it down to a 1-digit number. Then the next one, you go in, and that is for, and the first one is for ideality. The constants, when you go through there, that is for your impression. And then the fourth, when you add all the numbers up for all the letters, that will be your expression. Now, if you have a bad name to where you find out that you are a real belligerent asshole and always wanting to fight, you've got the wrong harmonics. You change your name to a good harmonics name, and you might feel a hell of a lot better about yourself. Also, your birth date has a harmonics to it. And see, the dark side people, they will go in and try and bring out a child upon a good harmonic state that they can control. They don't want an independent harmonics, which is number one, that basically, and then basically also, so you can read the definitions in the book. Because, see, I think my present status is 1, and then a 9, and then a 2. And then you can read the definition and figure out why in hell I'm such a shithead the way I am. Even though I'm not a shithead, I'm out here trying to really help you people.
We know that. We're glad you're helping us.
But all of this name change and everything is right out of the Bible. The only time that anybody ever got anything of their inheritance was when they changed their name.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham, Sarah, Moses, Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, or whatever his name was, and Jesus, okay? Jesus didn't get his stuff until he changed his name, and basically you didn't know what it was because nobody wanted to report that he changed his name and was still living. They wanted to say he was dead because it sold a better story to everybody, to think that basically they took 25 gallons of blood out of him, like the movie Passion with Mel Gibson. I mean, all the blood that basically was in that damn movie, there ain't that much blood in a human body. Talk about a ludicrous movie that basically people gobbled up. The real fact is, the man that was behind that whole thing died at about 150 years of age in northern India. And that's documented in several different places, but basically it's hidden away from people, and they don't want to believe that bullshit. They think it's bullshit, but it's real actuality. There's a lot of stuff out here that basically hasn't really made any sense in the Bible because it's all in metaphors. But it's been telling you what you need to do. The two things that most people are totally against. I ain't changing my name, that's my family name, and I'm keeping that damn shitting thing. I refuse to give it up. The other thing is, I ain't going to bankruptcy. I ain't bankrupt. No, you're not bankrupt. But the United States Corporation is bankrupt. You're the damn creditor. You've got to go to the bank to get your credits back. See, there's misconceptions on both sides in this process. To get your inheritance, you have to change your name. You can still be buried in a family plot. But when you die, you really don't give a shit where in the hell you're buried. It's only your family wants to place you in the family plot so that they can come out there and jump up and down on that gravesite to make sure you stay in the ground. We ain't letting him back out. Keep him down there. We know where he's at. We're going to keep him there. That's how asinine half these people are. And then they'll put a big monument over your headstone saying, oh, look what we did to honor him. Yeah, all total BS. So that's basically the gist of it. I set in, and you can do a 1099-B. I had Tom post that up the other day. A cover letter that goes to the clerk of the court. You do a 1099, or not a 10. You do a B10 form. Okay?
Right,
Forget that 1099 shit, okay? We don't do any of that shit. You do a B10 bankruptcy form, and I had Tom post up the example of it. And I had Tom post up the priorities for that under Title 11, USC, Chapter 507. So you place that up there. You do the B10. You do the cover letter. You take a copy of your certificate of live birth or DD-214, whatever the case may be, and you put a charge in for, say, $10,000. That $10,000 would be equivalent to roughly about 600 silver dollars coming off your vessel. Your vessel is holding real asset value in silver and gold. A silver dollar conversion ratio right now is around 17 to 1. So when you multiply 600 times 17, you're going to come up to about 10,000. Not accurate, but basically it's going to be somewhere in the ballpark. You authorize the clerk of the court by your letter to take out the court fees in the process, which was, I think most of the bankruptcy courts are all the same, $245 plus $75 plus $15 for the trustee. Now, they really shouldn't be taking out the trustee funds, but it should be coming back to you. But if they want to play around and have a little shit in trustee there to process this thing through, we'll let them play with their little trustee. So altogether, it's about 335 Federal Reserve dollars, not silver dollars. So you divide 17 into 335, and you're going to come up with roughly about 20 silver dollars, 21, 20, somewhere in that neighborhood, silver dollars. Why was there always the thing about taking 21 silver dollars into court? Now you can see the correlation. I went in and got 11 certified copies of my DD-214. And the girls had no problem. They weren't busy at all. In fact, they're glad to see me come in there because basically I give them something to do. So they gave me 11 certified copies of my DD-214. I took each one of those and I put it against a traffic ticket to claim the appearance bond that was assigned to that traffic ticket. The charges are in Federal Reserve dollars, but the appearance bond is in silver dollars because they wrote out DOLLARS behind it. That means it's in lawful currency of silver dollars. Just like your check when you go to the bank. You write out $100 on that line, handwritten $100, DOLLARS. But what do you get back in return? You're only getting one Federal Reserve dollar back in return. Because what you're getting back is at the upper right-hand corner with the dollar sign. So you are definitely not getting just exchangement at the banks, at these commercial banks. The only place you're going to get just exchangement is at the bankruptcy court, a court of justice. Just exchangement is what that court is all about. It's also called, when you're doing this process, it's called a HERIT. HERIOT. They will take out the fees and the charges and give you back the residue. So I'm having them send a check down to the county, local county clerk of the court for all those traffic tickets. Even though I paid for them, they're still not off the books in all regards. Because what I paid for them was with debt money. Now, when we convert these from silver dollars into Federal Reserve dollars, these are now debt-free Federal Reserve dollars. Now, when these checks go down, Treasury checks coming out of the bankruptcy court down to that local court, they are being paid in full. Therefore, they have to remove any semblance of that traffic ticket off the books. If it stays there, that is outright slander. But you can't claim slander until you paid for it with real debt-free Federal Reserve dollars. We've been all around this process in a lot of different ways, okay? We tried the dissolution of the corporation, but we were kept using the same damn name. We needed to have a new name, and then we had to transfer that assets out of the public corporate pledged or pawn account over to our private estate or private enterprise. And you can look these up. Those are the two areas that basically the state has no jurisdictional control over. They do have jurisdictional control over a trust. And like I said before, you never trust somebody else, because in a trust, you've got to set up a trustee. In an estate, you don't need to have a trustee. You're the owner of that estate. And you're a complete lunatic if you do set a trustee up, because you never give your shit to somebody else to hold for you. If you can't handle it, go jump in the gravesite right now. And put the gun to your head. That's about it. I don't know what more else I can tell you. You need to change your name, and you need to go to bankruptcy court. So I've got roughly 11 items that are hitting the bankruptcy court tomorrow morning, or tomorrow sometime, all for a total of about almost 4,000 silver dollars, which is going to be comparable to about 69 or somewhere in that area, Federal Reserve dollars. The court will take out roughly about $3,600 Federal Reserve dollars, so they ought to be happy as a lark. Hell, they're going to make some money. Then they'll send about the same amount down to the local court to pay the traffic tickets off in full. I could turn around and put a claim in for the Federal Reserve debt dollars that I paid into them. I only paid 4 of them so far. But from that, I could turn around and get those Federal Reserve dollars back. And see, that's when you get receipts, okay? You turn around and take those receipts, you do a B-10 with the receipt against the debtor, Walmart, Casey's, whoever, Sears and Roebuck, the bank, with all your checks. Hell, they only gave you 1 Federal Reserve dollar for what they borrowed, or they put a lien on of the silver dollars. So they're utilizing your assets big time there. I've said all along, what 2 entities out here are always building new buildings? Banks and insurance companies. Because they're the biggest corruptors and users of our assets. And nobody ever really took the time to understand what they were really doing. Then they always blame everything on the United States corporation, when 90% of all your rights and everything that you have lost are being taken away from you by the state whore that you're married to. But no, get a copy of that book, What's in Your Name, and go through it, and then pick out a new name. You should also do this when you have a child. You should figure out what name you really want to give that child. Okay? You want to try and make him a better person, okay, you don't give him a name that basically is going to be a name that's going to hold him back. And in a lot of cases, that's what the parents, oh yeah, I like this name, but they don't know. They picked a name that basically is a shitty name. It's basically doing a disservice to the child because it doesn't have harmonics. And basically, when you speak your name, even when you're speaking, you are resonating a harmonics out of your mouth. You can feel it vibrate through your whole body. So you can go through and get that book, and basically that ought to help you a lot.
Good.
Okay, any questions?
So it looks like we have to do a lot of study here to fill in what you said here.
Not really. Basically, all this was sort of self-explanatory. You've heard this all before.
Yeah, but not focused this way. Right. Now I want to go through the material you've just said there just so it becomes solidified for me.
That's because you have the wrong harmonics, Tom.
Could be.
Yeah, so you better get in and find out why you're in the wrong harmonic situation. Because you're sort of wishy-washy in that regards. You're sort of a non-believer, sort of like Thomas in the Bible. Doubting Thomas? No, when you go through this, you're going to find out some stuff that you didn't know about yourself.
Right.
That was all in harmonics.
I don't doubt, Patrick. I just want to nail it down.
Okay, I'll get a big hammer.
Okay.
How you doing, Gail?
Very well.
Now, do you remember, did you have to do a special form or anything when you did a name change?
I don't believe so. They had something prepared and they just gave it to me and signed my name and that was it.
Yeah, you put down your old name and you put down the new name.
No, I just put down the new, what I changed it to.
Yeah, but they had to have the old name, what you were changing it from, to what you're going to.
I think I might have had a copy of the birth certificate.
Yeah.
And that's what they used. But, of course, don't forget that was quite a while ago. Everything is so sophisticated now. They probably have several different kinds of forms and all that silliness. Just read what you sign real well.
Yeah. And then you just went into the judge. You didn't go into any court or anything like that, right?
Oh, no. I didn't even go to I just went to the clerk. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. And then she took it into the judge, and basically, so it was still behind closed doors or in chambers, the process.
I don't know about that, but I know that they have over. Of course, as I say, this was a while ago, but over those windows that they have, or little places that you go, they have something that says name change. At least they did then. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's just a secret.
Well, I think it's like what you were doing, okay, but I think we still need to probably go through the federal district court. But with that B210A form and the B2 form, bankruptcy form, we can basically put that into the bankruptcy court, and then basically there's still going to be a judicial notification, but we could also notify the chief judge, or even you should be able, and you did this through the state court, right?
Wherever I was at that time, and that was
but you did
California.
it at the state court, not at the federal court.
Not the federal, no.
Yeah, so you did it at the state court, so I think you could do it at either one of them, and it will be processed. Might be processed faster if you went to the federal district or the United States District Court and had the name changed and placed in there.
I'm not sure they would do that there. They probably would send you back to the
state court.
Well,
they may. But basically, you've got a whole bunch of you got the Social Security and you got everything else going through the federal level. So basically, the federal court should process it. So you're really registered as a federal corporation with that vessel. Yeah, you're operating a United States vessel. Okay? And see, that's a United States corporation vessel that you're operating. Even though you do have a bunch of little state vessels floating around out here, too. I mean, you got a whole fleet of vessels. That's why you're also called an admiral.
Right.
But, yeah, just people need to double check and with their clerk of the court at the county level or whatever, and then also at the federal level, call them up and check out and see, do they have a name change form? After you get your understanding of why you need to change your name. I'm doing this because the Bible tells me to do this.
They didn't ask why I wanted to do that.
I know, but that's really why you want to do it now, okay? It's because you're following the Bible. Before, you were just doing it because you wanted to do it.
Hey, Patrick, can you say some more of those names that were changed that are in the Bible? Like, I don't know what Moses' other name was, and I know, like, Jacob became
Go into the book of Daniel, okay?
Yeah.
Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, okay? They got their names changed. Huh?
Abednego.
Whatever.
But what was
Number
Sarah
3,
before?
the Three Stooges, okay? The Three Stooges got their names changed along with Daniel. And Daniel's name is in there big time, that when he got, and basically the Babylonians changed his name and gave him a new name, and that's when he got all of his royalties and everything given to him. numerous different people in the Bible that were out there. Moses, okay, was not Moses at the beginning. They try and claim that that's what his name was, but no, that wasn't what his name was.
Do you know what it was? I'm looking.
You find it out in the Bible. I'm not going to tell you everything.
Okay, I'm looking on the computer. The computer doesn't even know.
Fuck the computer. Break out the Bible.
Okay. I'll read the book of Daniel and see what I can find out.
Well, you're not going to find Moses in the book of Daniel, but basically you'll find the other guys in the book of Daniel.
Yeah.
Jesus, basically, his name was changed.
Right, originally...
Abraham basically changed his name at the very beginning.
Yeah, it was Abram.
Yeah, and basically his wife also changed her name.
Okay, I don't know about that one. Sarah, I don't know what that's...
Esau and Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob got changed to Israel.
Well, Esau got changed to Jacob.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened there.
Why'd they do that?
Because Esau was the one that got all the riches. It wasn't, or Jacob got all the riches. It wasn't Esau.
Then it got changed again to Israel.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I just like trying to look at it. I'm trying to figure it out. But I've been studying that book of Daniel lately, so I'll just keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, there's numerous. You can find all these different conversions in there.
Yeah.
Jesus. Basically, he had to get rid of the name Jesus.
He started
before he got his inheritance.
Yeah, he started out with Emmanuel.
Yeah. But you never found out what his final name was. But he operated out here. We know damn well that he operated under Mark, Luke, John, all these other names, because those guys weren't smart enough to write. They were fishermen. Jesus was the educated one. Think about it. They were just pseudonames that Jesus was operating under. His 12 persons. The 12 persons of man, and then you put the Spirit in there. Now you have the 13. See, it's all harmonics numbering in this whole damn process. One to three, okay? But see, nobody knows how to read the Bible to see the numerology that's in the Bible. But when you look at the B10 form, you can see that that's a pretty simple form. And you have to do a checkmate. And then for the court to get paid, they have to cash that check that's mated to that bonding instrument that you're giving them. Yeah, if they want their damn payment, they better cash the check. You go to the local bank. Do they take out the fees? Charge you the fees before you cash a check? No. They take out their fees after you cash your check. You just don't see them doing it. But they definitely are, especially when you're giving them access to silver dollars and they're giving you Federal Reserve dollars and Federal Reserve dollars back in exchange, because they're placing a lien against that silver dollar value that you're putting up as a pawn or a pledge. Okay, anybody else have any questions about this?
It's not, Patrick. For me, I need to read these things very carefully to drill it in.
Yeah, see, I'm a number one in several things. I have dominance, and basically it says, you are and this is my destructive part of the expression. You are egotistical, inconsiderate of other people's expression, because you are so close to the personality of your own expression. You are given to living other people's lives for them by recommending methods which you have found perfect instead of minding your own business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to help.
Yeah, we know that. For sure.
And see, that's also under the good side of the thing. But you can read what it says.
Yeah.
Numbers are big in this. And see, that goes along with my birth date, too, because it comes out to 1.
Huh.
So I was born an egotistical bastard. But it's not bad. It's just that I have a little understanding that basically I'm not going to give up. Okay? You go on to some of the others down there under 4 and 5 and 6, and basically find out that basically I think 4 was someone that is totally destructive, okay? Wants to fight all the time. That sounds like probably Rod Class. And some of these other people that basically just want to constantly fight the system and not understand it. He needs to change his name. Maybe he'll get a little better feeling for himself. Get into a different harmonic state. Gives a good example of this one person that basically went through learning how to play, I don't know whether it's violin or whatever, and basically she was good, but she wasn't great. She wasn't getting all the notoriety that she should have gotten for being a good violinist or whatever it was in the thing. And it was because she was operating under the wrong name. As soon as she changed her name, things changed. How many times have you seen this with actors and actresses? All of a sudden, seem to appear on the screen. Well, they've been there for one hell of a long time, but they were operating under a different name. So when they change their name to a new stage name or whatever, their harmonics goes up.
Yeah, like Barbara Eden. She had a funny name.
Cher. I mean, Cher was out there before she took on the name of Cher. She was attached to Sonny. That was a drawback. She really made her wealth when she broke away from being attached to Sonny. Yeah, see, it was Sonny and Cher.
Right.
So basically, when the harmonics got broken, it now just became Cher. But there's numerous ones out there like that.
Yeah, even John Wayne.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, when they start taking on these other names and everything, all of a sudden, now they start becoming the rich and they're in demand in their services. Because the harmonics flows in the right retrospect. So that's enough studying. You can go and check this out for yourself.
Right.
Okay.
Even fake names like Flash Gordon and stuff like that have something to do with that.
Anybody else have any questions or anything before I go?
Okay.
Hey, what's the significance of having your birth certificate authenticated?
Not a damn thing. It don't accomplish anything, okay?
All right.
Just like all the stuff that we went to try to go to the post office and to this place and apostilles and all that bullshit, it don't accomplish shit. And we proved that. The only way you're going to get your assets is to do a name change and transfer and have that name now be applied to your private enterprise or private estate, and you are the grantor or the transferor to the new private estate. And you'll get that on record at the bankruptcy court, so that then when you come in as a creditor with your B-10s for the receipts that you pay out of your back pocket, it will be an automatic done deal. That they will be paying the payment out to this new private enterprise. Stay away from banks. Get rid of all insurance policies, everything. Because those are all pawns out there. For the corporate pawn, copyrighted pawnee. You have to get rid of all those old names and start living under your new name scenario. Then you will get your wealth that you're entitled to. And see, that is surrendering the old and taking on the new. And this numerology is basically goes back to, and they finish it up in the conclusion of the book, that basically this numerology is done as a little child would do mathematics. And we were told to read the Bible as a little child, not as a grown-up shithead, thinking that we know every damn thing. Because most grown-ups, they don't know anything. They just want to be told what they're supposed to know. Where a little child goes out and finds out what needs to be learned. He's always asking the question, why? And until you start asking the question, why, you're never going to find the answer. Okay, any other questions or anything, comments? Better get your shots in. This might be the last time you get a shot at this egotistical bastard.
So a
By the name
divorce
of Patrick Devine, because I don't know what my new name's going to be.
Well,
and I may not let you know what it is.
You're still figuring that out, huh?
Yeah.
Great.
So I want to have an understanding here. We're doing it to become private. You can't do it by doing an annulment of marriage or a divorce of the other state
none of that.
or anything like that.
We were close on that. Okay, and this will all be a divorce when you terminate that other corporation's name and transfer the assets. But see, you're the only one that can do this. You have to get rid of that name.
Right.
You have to take a new name on, adopt a new name.
Like you said,
that's what I was doing recently, was doing an adoption, but I was kept coming in under the same name.
Right. You said that you wanted to court-martial that guy and execute him or terminate him or exile him or whatever you wanted to do. You wanted to get rid of that.
That will all take place. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be out in the open in the process, but basically it's all going to be done behind closed doors.
Yeah, same result.
You don't need to use those words.
Yeah.
It will all be taken care of when you transfer the assets, and basically it's a simple transfer. And like I said, it's not even under a notary.
Right.
But you submit it into the court, to the bankruptcy court, saying, hey, this is now going to a private estate, no longer a public corporate pledged or pawned corporation, copyrighted corporation.
Right.
I'm the author of this copyright, and I can terminate the copyrights over all of those pledges at any time.
Right. I get it.
It's just like you have a bunch of gas stations, okay, under the name of Come and Go. And you come in and you're going to buy those Come and Go gas stations out, and you've got a new name, Fast Service.
Right.
And basically you're not under obligations to fulfill all those obligations of Come and Go. You don't need to keep their name or anything like that. You're going to convert all that. You're going to get rid of all the bad shit and put it under your new system. How many movies have we seen about brokerages out here coming in and in a hostile takeover? That's what this is a hostile takeover in a way. You're the hostile.
Right. Even Levitt's Furniture, he got killed at the Reno Air Races. Gary Levitt's got killed. the business was transferred to his daughter, but it's not called Levitt's anymore. It's called Ashley's, and Ashley was his daughter's name. So the whole thing became.
She is still in the corporate world, okay?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it's a whole separate corporate.
Yes, but it's still a public corporation, okay? We're not talking about that. We're talking about taking our stuff out and putting it into a private corporation.
Right. I didn't
Okay.
swallow the tail there.
Yeah. You can mull all these things over in your own mind in the background, okay? Now, anybody else have any questions before I call it quits for the night?
No, Patrick, I guess not, and thank you very much. This is very, very helpful. Glad to read the book.
I have one more question. Is the word name, I've heard before with my prior learning, name means nomen, or it means debtor. I just wanted to know if we could call it, should we call it?
No, it's not, okay? That's misinterpretation or miss bullshit.
Okay. I had to ask. Yeah. You said to ask questions.
Yeah. Well, you break out the dictionaries. I've told you this before. You got to go into more than one dictionary when you look up some of these terms.
I understand.
Okay. Anybody else out there? Okay. Good night. Talk to you sometime, maybe.
Thank you, Patrick.
I don't know what my new name will be, but basically, I'll be terminating this one.
Okay.
So, take care.
We'll be happy to hear what it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.